Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer workshop. My name is Baer. I'm here to build a model kit and to hang out with all of you. And right now I'm going to go ahead and throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, and the Tier 2 Blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can say hi, or you can use other people's emotes. Or if you want to be a lurker, you can just go ahead and lurk. Looks like we're going to be in for I would say a quiet evening, perhaps a little low numbers. Don't quite know why. It's a Monday, and we usually do pretty okay on a Monday, but I don't know. It happens. Lord Crashington says, "Hey Pat." Hey Lord Crashington, welcome, welcome. But yeah, it doesn't seem like we're starting off with too many folks here in chat, and that's okay. Lashbrook is here as well. Hello, Lashbrook. But yeah, as I said, it is Monday. It's Manga Monday. So in the second hour, I will be talking about a manga that I have read all of. Usually, I talk about a book that I've like started to get into, and then maybe I'm just waiting for chapters. Occasionally I'm like, actually this isn't great and I'm tired of it. Like that one about the person that was a dragon knight and then became a courier, and it was just weirdly horny. It got so much more horny, and I was like, this isn't even like romance or sexual. It is. It's just like weirdly titillating, odd behavior. And I was like, I don't want to read this anymore. But sometimes I read the whole damn thing. I just get the volumes and read every fucking chapter. And so we'll talk about that. A book that I read all of. I won't spoil anything, but I will kind of ease my way into it and give you an overview of it. Yeah, we'll talk about some anime and some wrestling. And some video game stuff. Some stuff going on with me probably get discussed, that kind of thing. I'm stalling for a little bit more than I normally would at the top of the stream, but it happens. I think it'll be okay. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's about it. We're working on the Gundam Astray Blue Frame High Grade from the year 2004. We've done plenty of red frames, and I think we did one gold frame once, but we've never done a blue frame to my recollection. I don't believe we have. This is a good looking kit. It's got some undergating, which is weird for a high grade. And the shoulder design at the time is pretty rough. These arms are going to start sagging if I displayed it, which I don't expect I would display it, but if I did, it would not hold up. But let's go to the overhead now. Let's just go right there. Oops, gotta jump this over there. There you go. Don't need to see the table. Just see the build surface, which slid a little bit. I do have a washcloth underneath this to keep it from sliding around too much. But occasionally I bump it. But if I didn't, this mat would just slide all over the table. So I added a towel there for friction purposes. I'm occasionally not a 100% goofball. Occasionally I think about some stuff. All right, so we did all of this. We did Lego on Saturday, finished the Lego kit, a Ferrari, and then we did all of this. So this kit, I don't think we're going to finish it tonight, but we're definitely going to be like almost done for Thursday's stream. So let me get my instructions out here, and yeah, we'll jump to the other arm that we need to build. Let's see. Yeah, we got to jump back here because we did all of that. We did all that. Yeah, now we are on we're on the right arm, which I don't remember everything that we did to make this work, but it didn't. I don't remember the other arm being particularly difficult, so I think we'll be okay on this particular construction here. All right, what are we talking about tonight? Again, anime and manga in the second hour. Probably some wrestle talk to start. Oh, I should say, I'm going to say this a bunch of times. If you just go by my usual schedule, then you would arrive tomorrow at around 9 p.m. Eastern looking to see me do something that's not model kit building. Often video games, occasionally something besides that. That's not going to be the case this Tuesday. I'm instead streaming on Wednesday. That's right. I got a Wednesday stream, the day that I normally like to watch wrestling with friends and not do that. Jam just subscribed with Prime. That's 64 months. Thank you so much, Jam. That's so many months. Let's throw the Bear Cave Lego site, the Tier 2 blue emote if you're Tier 2 subscriber into chat. Thank you very much, Jam, for renewing your subscription. Thank you for subscribing for 64 months, because that's just a ridiculous amount of months. I appreciate you very much. Yeah, so this Wednesday, I'm going to check out Sunshine Shuffle. Sunshine Shuffle is a poker game. Is a narrative poker game about a bunch of cute animal friends that at one point robbed a bank at some point. It is the spiritual sequel to Poker Night at the Inventory, and I'm excited to check that out. It seems rad. I have received a copy of the game. I will make that abundantly clear. Wednesdays of the game release. Normal animal things, indeed. I have received a copy of the game. I received it today. I somehow got on the... yes, indeed. Sometimes you got to rob a bank with your friends, right? And then you got to, like, disappear, and then you got to be on the open seas, because it takes place on a boat, and you got to play poker. And I'm sure everything will be fine. So I received a review copy, which is wild. This is now officially my first review copy. I have received games in the past, and I have covered those games that I received code for on this very stream channel. I have certainly had that happen to me in the past. But all of those have been like codes that unlocked, like, you know, I could cache the codes in early, but I couldn't download them early. I couldn't download them until, like, the game was released. This is the first time that I have ever received review code. It is the game. There's no changes, or if there are, they neglected to tell me that, which would be weird. No NDAs need to be signed, but there was an agreement, and I'm sure that if I started streaming it, people would be bummed, including the creator, the founder of the studio, who follows me on Twitter. I think he would notice. So yeah, I'm excited to check it out. It seems like something this channel would enjoy. It is a game that I probably would have purchased anyway on my own, but because I have been, I reached out and said, hey, I would like to stream this game. I would stream on the 24th, and I would be interested in receiving a code for this game. I received one, and that's great. Especially because later this year, that same studio is putting out a horror shooter, and I don't want to play that game. So I'm glad I'm going to be playing one of their games this year. Because yeah, that's not my style. So, but you know, mostly excited. So that's going to be Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern time. And not tomorrow. Sorry for folks that your Tuesday plans involve me. That will not be the case this week. And the following week, wrestling. I'm going to watch some old wrestling. It's been a while since we did a Pat Watches Wrestling stream. And so we'll be taking a look at some wrestling. We're going to focus on Japanese wrestling. But we might check out a few things from a few other countries as well. I have not compiled my list of that yet. I will be doing that basically this week, but I do have a couple things set aside. I still have more French wrestling from New Catch from the 90s. I still have more of that, but I'm saving that for the my birthday stream, which is in June 23rd. It's a Friday. I have not decided if I am taking that Thursday or that Saturday off, but I am not going to stream Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'm thinking I'm going to take that Saturday off because I believe I'm going to be going out to dinner, and maybe I just want to stay out late at dinner. So I think that the plan right now is that I will stream that Thursday, and then that Friday, and then not that Saturday, and take that Saturday off. It's rare for me to take a day off when I am not like traveling or whatever, but I think that's okay. We do have a sticker to apply to this. We could do this later, but let's do it now. You know what? Let's do it live. Let's just put this sticker on here. It is one of our specialty stickers here. It is number 30, or not 35. It is the larger of the two, I believe. Although, oh no, these are identical. So one of these is going to go on the shield, the other goes on the shoulder. But they are identical, so we can just take one off here because it shares the same symbol. So that's how you know they're identical. So we'll just peel that off. And then apply this to the center. We can look at the photo for photo reference here. I believe this is going to look good. Yeah. There we go. That is not a water slide, although it would look like it would be, but it is not. It is treated somewhat like a water slide in that it does have clear, and so it's not just the small piece there, but it is not a water slide. I looked it up to make sure because I was like, did they put a water slide on this kit? They did not. All right, so now we did that. Now we can work on the rest of the arm here. Start getting in there. We need this piece here. Try to get our arm together. And we end. All right, so small wrestle talk, and then we'll get into some bigger wrestle talk. First and foremost, speaking of video games earlier, Fight Forever, AEW's first video game, which has been in development for quite some time, has had some personnel changes and things of that nature, and people have left the company that were probably on the forefront of discussing it as some gamers and all of that. There are a bunch of people that have come to the company since they started talking about it that won't be in the video game that are like big stars, and it's interesting. But yeah, that's coming out June 29th to everything, basically. All modern consoles and PC. You can pre-order it a bunch of different places or wishlist it. I have it wishlisted on... wait, which number did I just pull here? Okay, this is these. I need these later. I've wishlisted it on Steam. I don't know if this is going to be like a day one purchase. I believe I have a. I don't actually want to say that. I can't remember for sure if I know someone at THQ Nordic still, so I don't want to say I definitely do, but I would reach out through contacts to try to get a either review copy or a streamer copy of the game. I would certainly reach out. I mean, I got gifted by a friend the WWE game, but I'm going to try to reach out and secure the bag for that because we would definitely be checking it out. At the very least, I want to know what the modes are. I want to see if there's CPU versus CPU matches. I don't know. There's online co-op, and I don't know what that means. I really want to know what... Because obviously online multiplayer makes a lot of sense. But that one of their things on the Steam page mentions online co-op. And I'm like, is that... Can you tag? I bet that doesn't work. I don't know what you mean by online co-op, so I want to know. I want to know what their fucking deal is. I am intrigued and interested in that video game, so we'll hopefully take a look at that in the future. All right, so this is going to go like this. It's going to go like this. I believe this is correct here. Yes, this is how it goes. We got to add in our polycaps. Got to have a polycap in here. Can't have the arms work without polycaps. Real quick, I want to mention, last night there was a New Japan US show. Even though a lot of their belts are called New Japan Strong. New Japan Strong was the brand. It was the LA expansion of New Japan, or the US expansion of New Japan Pro Wrestling. They basically dropped the Strong name, and now they're just New Japan shows. But a lot of the belts still say Strong on them, and that's fine. The main event of a New Japan pay-per-view was a title match. There was a tournament to decide the first ever New Japan Strong Women's Champion. New Japan recently added a women's division, as small as many people from Stardom, their sister promotion. But it is not like the Stardom belt. It is his own belt. So they added that. And now this is the expansion, adding the second belt, which is the Strong belt. There was a 4-person tournament that happened all in one night. And the finals were Mercedes Moné, who you may remember as Sasha Banks in the WWE, versus Willow Nightingale, who you may know from AEW and Ring of Honor in the independent scene. And so a wrestling show put on by New Japan, promoted as a New Japan show, had its headliners 2 black women. And that's fucking wild. That's wild. That's weird. That's fucking cool as hell. It's dope as fuck, is what I will say. To have that. Match was great. Unfortunately, it ended weird. Clearly, Mercedes injured herself during the match. And they got to the finish in an odd fashion, where the referee clearly wasn't in on what was going on. Now, there's been some scuttlebutt and speculation that Mercedes realized, hey, I'm injured. I'm going to call an audible because this injury feels like something where, like, I'd have to give up this belt anyway. So instead of me winning the belt and giving it up, let's just have Willow go over. Which I don't know if that's true. Yes, Nathan, it is believed that she has broken her foot. So I don't know. I can't tell you. I can tell you that referee looked like he wasn't sure what was going on, but that also could be, I'm not sure what's going on. This is not the finish I was told was going to happen. So but okay. But I will say this. Willow does not celebrate like she's like, oh, I shouldn't be having this. That belt, it's the first champion, right? You want the belt to look good on the first champion. That belt looks good on Willow Nightingale. It fits around her waist, no problem. Willow's a big gal. No disrespect, just stating the obvious. She's a big gal. Mercedes Moné, not a big gal. I think that belt would have looked fucking huge, and I don't think that's the look they're going for. So that's my no evidence theory. Well, also, Mercedes could have won. Probably not with the finish they had originally planned. Mercedes could have won, and then just fucking had the belt, pretended like she wasn't hurt, like it wasn't a big deal, and then just not defend it for a fucking while. Instead of, like losing 2 weeks or two big matches in a row, which is what ended up happening, it does feel a little odd. Again, I don't want to speculate. I hate that this takes away from Willow's achievement. It is very funny. Someone said, well, I have to think that it was that I had to imagine that Mercedes is supposed to win because I only know Willow from AEW, and AEW Willow Nightingale isn't great. She doesn't win belts. And I was like, oh, well, I mean, Ring of Honor Willow is probably the person that's going to take the belt off Athena, so that's already different, and Independent Willow is different, and New Japan Strong Willow is different. Like, yeah, if you only know her from AEW, you would think that it's weird that she beat Mercedes, but, like, that is what happened. And it's great because, again, Willow rules. The match was very fun. That match, the crowd response to that match was off the charts. That match clearly was supposed to headline that event and made sense even without the tournament. If it just been a one-on-one, it clearly was the main event of the card. Hey, we finished an arm. Great. All right, top of this kit is done. Now we can move on to working on the waist. Weird. We're going to work on the waist and we're going to work on the legs or the feet. But yeah, usually the waist is like the last thing that you build, but sure, I'll put together a waist here on this kit. No problem. Okay, so that's that wrestling. Let's look ahead. More Thursday, we'll probably go a little more in depth on the wrestling as far as the 2 pay-per-views that are happening, because Night of Champions happens this Saturday, and Double or Nothing happens this Sunday. So, you know, conversations we'll be having about that as I get into some predictions. The card is still kind of coming together for both shows, although there are 9 matches scheduled for Double or Nothing, and there are only 6 matches scheduled for Night of Champions because they just booked one during Raw tonight. SmackDown has already been taped, and I do not believe that they added any matches on SmackDown. So, although there's an hour and a half left, so perhaps more will get added. But if I look at Night of Champions, we got the main 2 belts not up for grabs. We know that. We've got, let's see, both women's titles. The women's tag are not up. There's been some stuff going on there, so I don't think that's going to happen. I think the 2 women's singles matches are probably all we're going to get. So I think the women's tag matches won't be up. And then the U.S. belt is not up for grabs, and so maybe that does happen. Maybe that gets added, and we get the U.S. title. So because theoretically there could be 7 matches for that show. Double or Nothing right now is a card of 9, but no 0-hour matches because they do pre-show matches often. So that could happen. I would imagine if there is more added to that, it comes in really hot because one of the matches for Double or Nothing involves 21 people. So, I mean, that they've got a big roster, but at that point, it's like a lot of people. Okay. Running down the card. Adam Cole. This is for Double or Nothing on Sunday. Adam Cole, baby, versus Chris Jericho in an unsanctioned match. That's right. It's unsanctioned. I don't care. I don't care. There are rumors that Adam Cole is going to be feuding with MJF soon for the belt, which would be great because it means that Adam Cole would escape the velocity of Chris Jericho, the jazz hole, and that would be fantastic for him. Have Jericho move on to feuding with somebody else. Sounds good. Ethan Page and the Guns, Austin Gunn and Colton Gunn, versus the Hardy Party, Isaiah Cassidy, Jeff Hardy, and Matt Hardy. This match, the stipulation of this match is it's a 6-man tag team match. And if the Hardy Party win, then Matt Hardy will own Ethan Page's contract because Tony Khan loves him some matches that involve contract disputes. Oh, he loves it. He loves it so much, and I don't care. And even Jeff Hardy in a promo was like, Matt, enough with the contracts, which was hilarious. It was hilarious that they were just like, yeah, we'll call this out, I guess. This match feels weird. It feels so strange that the Guns are not trying to win their tag belts back and instead are fucking around. But I guess I prefer this over the Acclaimed and the Guns being stuck in a feud. Hardy Party, I guess that's the name we can go with. Yeah, Lord Crashington. The Hardy Party is the name when it's Matt and Jeff and somebody else. It's the Hardy Party. That's what they were going with. We've got Jade Cargill versus Taya Valkyrie. A singles match for the AEW TBS Championship. Jade's going to win this one. This could be Jade's longest match, perhaps. This will be her 60th win. I feel like she's not going 59-1. Also, yes, this is the thing. They had Taya lose because she couldn't use her finisher, and it was this whole thing, which like added some stakes and made things interesting, so it wasn't just like a squash, but like she's still not going to beat Jade. Who beats Jade? I have no fucking idea. When do they beat Jade? I also have no fucking idea. I don't think it's automatically Statlander whenever she's healthy and comes back. because the rumors weren't that she was going to win. The rumors were they had big plans for her, and people were like, big plans? Well, she's feuding with Jade, so that means she's going to beat Jade. It's like, well, they weren't just going to fucking wait this long. It's been so long. I don't know. Blackpool Combat Club, which is Bryan Danielson, Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, and Wheeler Yuta, are taking on The Elite, which in this case is Kenny Omega, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, you know, the Bucks, and Hangman Adam Page. Adam Page is back in The Elite. It is now a 4-person crew with friends, and they are fighting in a Anarchy in the Arena match. So it can go all over the place. It's a wild stipulation. It should be very fun. A bunch of these people are used to that kind of stipulation. Could be good. I actually have no prediction on this one. I think the Blackpool Combat Club are the biggest heels in the company that aren't MJF placed. They don't, not the people that get the most heat, because that's Jeff Jarrett. Because he gets both. I like to boo you heat and get the fuck out of here heat. So it's Jeff Jarrett. And Christian Cage is right up there as well. With I can say things that will get people to hate me thing. I got to say, outside of seeing Jade lose and the Anarchy match, this card doesn't really do it for me. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff in here that I'm looking forward to. But yeah, it is not the strongest card in the world. Jay's not going to lose, so there's one thing that's not going to... Lashbrook, Jay's not losing to Taya at the second match of their fight. I just don't think. But yeah, I think the Anarchy Arena should be solid. I have no idea. I think Blackpool Combat Club should win, but also it's cool that the Elite are back together. So I don't know. But maybe Takeshita appears and is heel. I don't know. Maybe Takeshita loses it for everybody. Jamie Hayter versus Tony Storm for the AEW World title. Why even have it at the pay-per-view then? They're not dragging it out. Oh, Forbidden... More than one women's match at Forbidden Door? Forget it. They're doing it at the pay-per-view because Jade is a popular wrestler. Like Lashbrook, I understand you're not interested in seeing Jade continue to win, but Jade sells merchandise and has a very vocal fan base. And so... And wrestling, maybe not wrestling audiences all the time, but traditionally, wrestling loves an undefeated streak. So, like, even if you're over it, like, people aren't. So, it's going to be at the pay-per-view. Because the story they're telling is, well, with the... now that she can use her finisher, like, Taya has a chance. She doesn't. But that's the story they're telling. With Jamie and Tony, they can have a great match. I think this match, obviously, is... not as, like, it doesn't have the stakes because I think that the Outcasts have generally been a failure as a storyline. I imagine we are either going to see, I don't think we're seeing a title change here, but we could see a double cross from somebody on a team. We could see the debut of somebody, or maybe it's fucking finally time to have Athena come in and join the Outcasts, because that way they're a foursome. That could be interesting, and they would have a belt. But also, like, Athena makes sense for the Outcasts because she's currently heel and also was also from a big company like they are. So that could make some sense. But yeah, I actually don't know where they're going with this. I'd like to see Jamie, like, keep the belt, but I also could see her losing it to Tony. The real thing is, my gut says we get Jamie Saraya, because that way you get two Brits wrestling each other at All In. So Jamie keeps the belt till All In. That's my guess. At least she keeps the belt till All In. We get Orange Cassidy defending his championship in a 21-man blackjack battle royale. So it's Orange Cassidy And we only know so far that Aaron Solo, Powerhouse Hobbs, and QT Marshall are in it, and 17 other people. I imagine more people will get announced on Wednesday. This is where you put in lots of single stars that are just fodder. This is where you put in some people that, like, you used to have, you know, like, you were pushing a little bit, but they're not really doing anything. Like, not everybody's going to be there, but a lot of people are going to be in there. It makes a lot of sense. Folks that, like, can eat a loss without it being a big deal ends up in there, is my guess. This could be the title that changes hands, because other than that, I don't know what belts change hands. I mean, there's one set of belts that could, and it terrifies me that it could change hands. We'll get to that in a bit, but I don't know. I can see Orange Cassidy retaining this. I could see this being a nice way to get the belt off of him. He's been such a great champion, but, like, yeah, he got eliminated in a battle royal. Like, okay, he didn't get pinned, he didn't get submitted. He just lost in a big event like that. Like, I think that could be an interesting way to take the belt off of him for other things that he needs to do. Which, yeah, would be great. Wardlow with Arn Anderson versus Christian Cage with Luchasaurus. This is a ladder match for the AWTNT title. The fact that it's a ladder match means that there is a possibility that Christian wins, but I feel like this is a definitive win that Wardlow needs to then set up Wardlow versus Luchasaurus. Like, if the plan all along was just to punish him, and, like, they didn't even think they were going to win, but they just wanted to beat him up to soften him up for Luchasaurus, that sounds great. But God, they can't have Wardlow lose so soon. They gotta have Wardlow win this one. I think it would be such a mistake to have that. Would Christian Cage be a fantastic champion? Yeah, his promos would be good. His matches would be fine. You know, like, he's got the muscle on the outside to help him cheat. Like, all those things are fun and fine. But I really don't want to see Wardlow lose again. Lose that belt another time. It's just like, that would be so bad for him. Speaking of bad, but in this case bad for me, FTR, Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler versus Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal, accompanied by Sanjay Dutt and Satnam Singh. It's a tag team match for the World Tag Team Championship, and Mark Briscoe will be the special guest referee. We are also, this does not list Karen Jarrett, who made an appearance last week and could also be at ringside. That's right. Jeff got his wife an appearance, at least one appearance. RJ City joked that Karen's going to get an all-elite graphic before he does. I hope not. There exists the possibility that Jeff Jarrett will become a champion in AEW, and I'll be sad about that. Yes, Jeff Jarrett gets a crowd response. He's an old-school heel that people like booing. But some of those boos are like, hey, get the fuck off the TV. Why are you here? What are we doing? Why does Jeff Jarrett have two tag team chances, two title chances in as many months? That's nonsense. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. And I want to not have to think about the possibility that Jeff Jarrett is going to become the tag champ. Like, oh God, it just makes me sad to think about it. I would prefer that he did not become a champion in AEW. Just focus on doing your business. And then the main event. The main event we knew was happening for months, basically, even though they were still trying to tell a story as if it wasn't. And like, oh, who's going to be it? It's MJF defending the world title in a four-way fight against Sammy Guevara, Jungle Boy Jack Perry, and Darby Allin. MJF wins. That I just look. Is there going to be some good action in this match? Fuck yeah, there's going to be some good action. You got some great wrestlers in there doing what they do best, which is wrestling. You're going to see some great spots. You might see some people kind of like help each other out a little bit. I still think that Sammy has been playing at being a face or a tweener, and is in fact, I would not be surprised if he's been paid off, despite everything, and has been pretending to make alliances with people. I could still see that be a possibility. At the end of the day, I don't think that any of them, other than MJF, are ready for the big belt. I mean, of the four of them, like, obviously, Darby Allin has had some success in the company. So there's, like, an argument to be made that, like, you can put it on Darby, and that would be interesting, and that could be kind of cool, and the matches will be fun. Jungle Boy has not ever won he's won the tag belts, I believe, maybe he's won the tag belts, but like nah. Sammy, I see Sammy and I'm just like, no, that's just like a gopher. That's just like Chris Jericho's like lackey. Like, I just don't see it. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're going to surprise me. Maybe they want a workhorse champ going into Forbidden Door and going into All In, and they don't want it to be MJF, and it's Darby. Maybe it's fucking Darby, and then Sting shows up, and he's just like, I'm proud of you, not my son. I don't think it's going to be Darby Allin. I don't think it's going to be... I definitely don't think it's going to be Jack Perry, Jungle Boy Jack Perry. And I don't think it's going to be Sammy Guevara. So, like, I think it's, like, clearly going to be MJF. And that's a bummer to be like, I know exactly how that main event's going to end. But I think they got to build somebody up to do it. And I don't think they did a good job of building any of these guys up in order to do that. That's just my opinion on it. Who knows? They could pull the trigger. They could go for it. I mean, with Darby, you feel like you got to do it sooner or later because that guy's going to break himself at some point. So you kind of probably have to do it while he's younger because that guy does not have a long wrestling career in his life. We all know he's just holding the belt for Punk. No, Lashbrook, we don't know that. We don't know that. We don't know that. They're going to create a new belt for Punk on Saturdays. That won't be the world title. Because then they can't have their main belt on both shows if they give it to Punk. And they want to have the belt on Dynamite too. But also one just has to hope. I'll be streaming here. I'm hoping in the first hour they announce where the first collision is going to be, and they don't announce it for Chicago. Because if they don't announce it for Chicago, that means that Punk isn't working out, and that would be great. I'd be very psyched about that. All right, we did the feet, we did the waist, we talked about Double or Nothing. Night of Champions. I'm going to hit refresh to see if any more matches. Nope, right now we're at 6 matches. Night of Champions isn't coming to you from Saudi Arabia. I will not be watching it, as I do not watch the Saudi shows. But I will read the results, and we'll probably talk about it. That Saturday night, we'll probably talk about the show. This Saturday night. And probably one final preview of Double or Nothing. All right, so let's get that together. So, right now we got 6 matches. Again, one more could get added. There's still time left on Raw. But right now, our 6 matches are Rhea Ripley defending her SmackDown Women's Championship, despite the fact that she is not on SmackDown, she is on Raw. But she's a SmackDown champion still because the draft doesn't make any sense. She is defending her title against Natalya. So, what the fuck are we doing here? That's my big question. Like, look, obviously, Natalya has been along with the company. She is the longest tenured WWE women's wrestler. The longest. and with good reason. She's a great trainer. She's a great tag team wrestler, a great singles wrestler. She can do it all. But, like, Natalya is Dolph Ziggler at this point. Like, yeah, you get a good match out of her, but, like, she's not winning. There's no part of me that thinks, like, even a shocking win. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why this match is happening. I didn't buy, her last opponent. This is weird. Rhea Ripley should have strong competition. I feel like they are dropping the ball with good old Rhea Ripley here. And just not putting, like, they're so afraid of people cheering for her that they're just not giving her good competition. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but they are really fucking up this shit. And that is a bummer because clearly Rhea Ripley is incredibly talented and should be given so many more opportunities to showcase what a phenomenal wrestler she is. Obviously, she's given plenty of time on the mic, but she deserves time in the ring too. I mean, I think it'll be a fine match. It's just like, I don't know. They're not doing anything to make me even think for a second that she's going to lose. Bianca Belair versus Asuka. Singles match for the Raw Women's Championship. I mean, it should be Asuka. I feel bad because I think that... this is the wrong piece here. I think that Bianca Belair has had a fantastic run. I think she is an unbelievable talent and has so much upside and is so great. But I think that people are tired. I mean, like, she was getting boos. People were mixed about it at WrestleMania. I think people are excited about the possibility of this heel Asuka, this mist-spraying bad lady Asuka, like, really going for it. And then Asuka will organically turn babyface because people will just be so excited about her that they'll be forced to have her turn baby. And I think that's where we're at. I think Asuka should win. I think this is also... I mean, there'll be a new champion for the main event, the new World Heavyweight Championship. Like, so there will be a new champion there. But I think this is the only belt that changes hands. I think that's the only belt that changes hands. Because Mustafa Ali is not beating Gunther. Like, Mustafa Ali is... Like, they just fucking... Like, Mustafa Ali's face gimmick right now is being a motivational speaker that people don't give a shit about. Like, he's a great goddamn wrestler. I think he's incredible in the ring. He and Gunther are going to put on a very good match. Like, it's going to be a good one. But Mustafa's not winning the Intercontinental Championship from Gunther. Like, if they didn't put it on Sheamus or Drew, they're not putting it on Mustafa. So, I mean, it might be like the hardest hitting match of the night. It might be turn heads. It might be really fun. But I just don't think it ends with Mustafa pulling up the victory. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, who are the tag champions, defending against the Bloodline, which in this case is Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa, with Paul Heyman there, standing at ringside, making great facial expressions during the whole thing. In my opinion, it would be incredibly funny in a shitty way if Roman Reigns won the not-unified tag belts. The undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions, because they currently hold belts from Raw and SmackDown. So therefore, Roman Reigns would hold 4 belts because he would have, he's already a double champion, and he would also hold 2 tag belts. I think that is incredibly funny, but I also don't think they're going to do it. I think Solo Sikoa is going to take a pinfall. I think keeping the belts on Kevin and Sami makes a lot of sense. I don't think it's the right time for this to go down that way. I don't know. I don't have, this one I feel like, the thing is, as much as I don't think it makes any sense, it also, like, especially with Roman's schedule and him apparently working less dates soon, later this year, it just doesn't make any sense for him to have all those belts. But whatever. They could still fucking do it. I hope they don't. I guess I'll say that. Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar. This is the only match on the card so far that is a non-title match. Cody won in Puerto Rico. So I think Brock Lesnar is winning this, and then Cody wins the feud at the end. And by the time Cody wins that, then he can start going after Roman again, and it makes sense for like SummerSlam. So I think like this wraps up in Money in the Bank, but it doesn't wrap up here with Cody winning again. It could end with Cody winning again and just being like, wow, he's a guy that has Brock Lesnar's number. Okay, he could beat Brock Lesnar. I don't think that's the case. I think this is going to be Brock Lesnar just humiliating Cody Rhodes, and then people being like, ha ha, he can't win a belt. They don't book him to win a belt. And be real smug about it for whatever reason. He's in a worse place than he was in AEW, where he gets paid way more to do way less and works with big names and main event WrestleMania. But obviously he's doing far worse in WWE than he did in AEW, where he was constantly going after the TNT title. All right. We're working on the leg here, so now we got to build more parts of this leg, right? Let's keep working on that. We'll take a pause to the cause in a little bit. The main event, the tournament final for the inaugural World Heavyweight Championship. That's right, they're introducing a third world title because they put 2 on Roman and they don't want to take one of them off Roman because then he loses. So instead, they're inventing a new one. But this new one is also the World Heavyweight title lineage, even though Randy Orton won that belt and already unified it with another belt. They're ununifying that belt as of today. They announced that, which is nonsense and silly. But you know what? I don't fucking care. Sure, go ahead. All belts are nonsense, and all belt lineages are suspect because wrestling is not real. So it's fine. I don't care, personally. It's Seth freaking Rollins versus AJ Styles. AJ is on SmackDown. This is the Raw belt. That is one reason why I don't think AJ is going to win. I think it's Seth Rollins winning this one. That feels like the clear one. I'm excited for this match. Those two work really well together. I think they're going to put on a fucking banger. AJ's looked great since he came back from injury. I think that it will do him a world of good to be in this match, and then he will return to his buddies in the club and hang out on SmackDown, and it'll be fine. But I just don't see AJ picking up that belt. I think that belt makes sense more than anything else, any other title. It makes sense to be in the hands of Seth Rollins. Is this the wrong piece? Is it A20? Yep, it's the wrong one. Grab the wrong one there. What made you want to build the HG Astray, Blue Astray? Says Angry Mob of Steve. Great question. A lot of times people ask why I build older kits. It's often a combination of things. In this case, this is a kit that I've never built. I've built other Astrays, but I haven't built the blue. And the price was right because I build model kits consistently, right? So my backlog isn't that big. Newer kits that come out, sometimes they're in the $20 range, right? But often they're marked up. I don't have a good local shop near me, so I'm buying most of my kits online. So I'm paying retail plus shipping pretty consistently. So I'm looking for older kits that appear on Amazon or are marked down on sites because they suddenly got a weird inventory. Because, like, I don't feel like a lot of people are looking for a kit from 2004 that was pretty plentiful and easy to get. So I look for kits like this, kits that I haven't built before that I'm like, oh, that'd be fun. But a lot of it has to do with the fact that I have to just consistently have a backlog. Like, friends of mine who are builders have lots of kits in their backlog, right? I don't. My backlog right now, I'm going to look. Give me a second here. I'm going to look. I think it's like 6. Yeah. Right now, I think I have like 6 kits. And then I have 3 on pre-order, which is the lowest I've had in a while. I just only have 3 on pre-order. And obviously, I'm going to get more kits. I constantly buy kits. But, like, depending... I don't want to talk about my backlog, right? So, Angry Mob, my backlog used to be a fucking problem. It used to be, oh, God, I have all these kits. My solution to that was... I went from streaming once a week building model kits to 3 times a week building model kits and Lego sets. And I don't miss streams. I constantly build kits. And then also, I went from having a full-time job that paid me very well, and I had some debt, but not a lot of debt. I went from that to losing that good-paying job. And then being underemployed for quite some time. So, like, I have to budget what I'm picking up, right? So, like, if I see a kit, I'm like, I'm not gonna buy Suletta, the Suletta figurized kit, because it's like $40-something at a bunch of different places. Like, I'm just not gonna go out on my way to get that kit. Whereas a few years ago, I certainly would go out of my way to get that kit because I really want to build that kit. So now I'm like, well, for the price of that kit, I could buy 2 weird old high grades. I'm probably going to get the 2 weird old high grades. Also, a figurized kit like that would take me 1 stream, maybe 1.5 streams to build. It's like, ugh. We got that Suletta kit, but it's for my wife, says John. Yes. Hell yeah. Like, I do want to build that kit, but I also, like, understand that I'm like, I'm going to get lucky on that at some day and get it for, like, a steal. I'm going to buy it from somebody who doesn't realize that they're selling it for less than they should. But I'm probably not going to I'm not going to pay full price for that. Like, I don't know. So that's me talking too much about what really comes down to the fact that I saw this kit for like $22 on Amazon, and I was like, fuck yeah, I want to buy a high grade for that little amount. That's a kit that I could build and would be fine to build. We almost never do repeats here. I think I've repeated. You know what? It was cheap, and I was in the mood, and I rebuilt the Death Scythe high grade, not the newer one, the older, like a 2012 revision of that high grade. I think I just got in a mood, and I got a good deal on it, and I was like, you know what? I want to build a Death Scythe again. It's been a while. Now we have the Death Scythe Hell premium Bandai kit coming this summer, and so I'll be able to build that, which will be great. Which is basically just the Live Lance Heaven kit that we already built, but who cares? It's going to be good. Plus, cheap high grades could be fun for kit bashing. Totally. Like extra pieces and components, those are fun. Like, you know, yeah, I mean, like, I'm sure there are people who are kit bashing and making like their own interesting interpretations of like grunts from Witcher Mercury. I'm sure people are doing that, but like, I don't know, it's like sometimes you just want to get an old junker and just kind of mess with it because it already is weird. I often, you know, when I am in a position to go to a store, like I said, I don't have a good hobby shop near me. I don't have a good place, but every once in a while I'm in a town where there are kits to purchase, and I often look for, I mean, I honestly often look for really weird older kits, right? Like that's kind of like what I'm primarily looking for. I'm looking for something that like they're not going to put on eBay because like who would buy this? But it also isn't at like such a high price, like that it's gotten like maybe a revision because someone went through and went, we have 6 of these. Could we like put it on discount? See if someone's going to buy this like 2007 model kit that's just sitting here that never got a re-release. Hell yeah, I'll buy that. All right, so this is 16 and that is 17. This should be right. Yeah. All right, we're gonna panel line this in a bit, but we're at the very least I can say we finished the leg. This kit we built tonight alone. We built the waist, both feet, and one arm. This kit does come together pretty quickly. The chest was a little weird. The chest was a little odd, but every other part of this kit has come together nice and smooth, which is great. Again, I don't think we're finishing it tonight in the next hour, but we should wrap this up on Thursday. So I will have to do I will have to put out a poll for my $10 patrons on Thursday, or it's not for Thursday stream to decide what we're going to build next. I've got a few things. I got a few things on the agenda to pick up. All right.